Islam, Islam, Islam. Praise Allah and giving thanks to our Father God Allah. I'm getting my second energy back. It's been a long day. Feeling a little tad under the weather, but all is well. Um, we are so grateful to know Allah in our lives and to wake up having a greater purpose and making our blessings duplicate and activate by allowing it to be a blessing for others. We give praises to our Father God Allah Almighty and honors to His illustrious prophet, our beloved prophet, Nabi Ali. We extend honors to all honors due this day. I'm Grand Governor Saisa Sadiel, and this is If the Truth Be Told. And just want to get you so that you know, If the Truth Be Told is kind of rebranding itself to be the communication platform for Only the Truth Matters. So, because we got If the Truth Be Told out there, and because we got If the Truth Be Told coffee cups, and I think maybe a T-shirt or two, um, it's all as well. So the reason why, because we have a functional, working, legitimate outreach program. It's on the books. We went through the necessary legalities to get it functioning, and it's functioning. We are just now working on the website. The website is up. It just needs greater content. So it's giving you the idea what we're about, what we seek to promote and do things, to give you the look and feel of what the website is going to how it's going to present itself. So you can definitely check us out at onlythetruthmatters.org. Um, it is a interfaith community outreach corporation. It is to tackle various social ills, but with this foundation based on the religious content. And one of the logos of Only the Truth Matters is with the Islamic logo, um, showing both uh, communities of Islam, the Christian logo and the Hebrew Israelite logo, to show the interfaith element that we have. And so, um, in the coming weeks, we will be having our program inviting other Islamic groups, people of the community, to speak about issues that we can definitely wrap our support around. One particular great passion of Only the Truth Matters, which is up under the umbrella of the Morris Science Temple of America, is tackling social injustice issues, particularly prison, dealing with the the prison, state and federal. exposing the uh, the unjust treatment of inmates being kept in prison over their out date, some being refused their religious to practice their religious unmolested. We've had many accounts of inmates being denied their Quran, being denied to say that they are Moorish American Muslims, being denied to say Allah. We have dealt with that. We have dealt, and these many times over, and still we have issues in dealing with that. And so we felt with If the Truth Be Told and having Only the Truth Matters basically come together, it will create a force in which we can speak about these stories, expose the injustice of Asiatic brothers and sisters, of those of humanity itself. Because again, Only the Truth Matters is an interfaith corporation, and it is open to humanity. And so we are looking um, to post stories up about things that are injustice. We are looking to post information to help those who are needing support tell someone's story. And we have a lot of them. We're going to host one of our brothers who is presently incarcerated and has been held past his due date, release date, and has been a strong advocate.
Who you talking
Um, Rafiq.
about? My feet ain't been held past the due date.
He's been where his one of our brothers, his actual story is being posted on YouTube, talking about the injustice of his case, and what led up to his incarceration was a lot of mm, a lot of mess. And his case is actually publicized, is actually an article, and they're seeking to do a documentary about it. And so we're going to post his information up as well, and support our um, brothers that's in the dismal crypt, to give information to their families, to help uh, their families, empower them with tools to advocate for better treatment for their loved ones. So I just wanted to get that out there in terms of um, If the Truth Be Told is going to be part of the communication platform for Only the Truth Matters.org. And you can check out the website. Let us know. Join the website is a way you can join our subscribe to our mailing list, and also subscribe to If the Truth Be Told YouTube channel, and share stories of social injustice, and even stories about Islam. Dealing with the faith of Islam, dealing with the um, right now. There is those who are in the Sunni community. We want to extend um, a blessed Ramadan to you all. May those who truly embrace the beautiful faith of Islam in every way, may it reflect in all that you do, to be a betterment not only to yourself but others. We in the Moorish Zion Temple of America Ramadan in October. And it was kind of interesting when not what is it? Oh, that was it last no early this week. Actually, it was a Monday. I went to have lunch with uh, one of our sisters in Islam, and she's from overseas. She had her jib on. Um, she's from Tunis, uh, Tunisia, Tunis, and so she had her jib on. And so when we went into Whole Foods I had my turban on, um,
Your charm.
my charm, my ring. I didn't have my hair out. I mean, I had my full turban wrap on, and there was other sisters there as well as yeah, it was other sisters there working, and people that was just regular customers that were of the Sunni community. They assalamu alaikum her
To death.
every time we passed. They greeted her in Islam, and then they said some other terms in Islam, and she just nodded, she just smiled and nodded her head. They didn't say anything to me. These are Asiatic sisters.
What do you mean by Asiatic? What they look like?
They look like me. They wasn't foreign Muslims. They wasn't foreign.
Oh, you said they was born and raised here?
Yeah, because a couple of them work at Whole Foods. They they here more. Guess either they from the 14th Street Masjid or Wazi Muhammad. But needless to say, they did not greet me, but I look like them. I mean, I didn't have the hijab, but I had a turban on. And the people, even in Wazi Muhammad community, they wear the turban wrap. They don't wear the full bakra like the Afghanistani women's because all those are cultural dress. Has nothing to do with Islam. It's cultural dress. But they didn't. And then I told the sister, um, I said, listen, it's lunchtime, and there are all these Sunni Muslims in here shopping, and for when
Ramadan.
for Ramadan, when they have their evening meal. So Whole Foods is booming, and it's a couple of not it's a few masjids in that area, not too far from Whole Foods. So anyway, I told her since I said, listen, I'm Ramadan in October. I'm going to eat, and she's like, that's what I thought we was going to eat. She said, I'm eating too. I Ramadan in October too, and I looked at her and I'm like, okay. So she got her some food. And we sat down and we had a nice little lunch. And then one of the sisters that the Muslim sister that was working in Whole Foods, she first was on the cash register because she checked us out, and she assalamu alaikum the sister. Now I'm the one that she now the sister's behind me now while we online. She assalamu alaikum her and say nothing to me. I ain't say nothing. One thing you can't. I'm not offended by that, but I know, but I see you different. I know who you are. So we sat down, and the same Muslim sister that was on the cash register all of a sudden moved to our area where we were sitting at, wiping off the table behind us. I said, I wonder if she peeking to see if we eating. And we sitting up there eating and talking. you know.
Y'all was eating.
Yeah, we was eating. It was lunchtime.
Chitlins. Were y'all eating chitlins?
Chitlins? No, I ain't know no chitlins. Funny. Have me some fish, a little salad, and a bottle of water. My sister had some food that reminded her of her where she's from. The samosas, uh, potato samosas, and she had some lentil and some other stuff. And we had a nice lunch and conversation. And I wasn't even moved by it. I don't. And the thing is, she didn't even see it, and I wasn't. I didn't. I was talking. We had so much to talk about with other stuff, but definitely when I get with her again, I will make mention of that. Did she notice that? Because this is when we talk about our faith of Islam amongst those who identify as African American. We've seen the hypocrisy sitting in the masjid with we was invited actually. And it was an interfaith invite, so it was Christians there, people from the Jewish community, the synagogues, people there from the Sikh community. It was a mixture there, and I was told by one of the sisters that sit on the board of directors with me, that we having people from the different communities get up and talk about um, their particular custom of fasting. Would you would your the leader of your community, would he be willing? Absolutely. Now she said this before we got to the masjid,
Yes.
so she had the paper down and whatever, but it was like a little avoidance going on because I'm like saying, why? People that start acting real funny, real shady, like when they start avoiding you or they drop their gaze when you look over to them. So she called up everyone
But us.
but us. She called up the two of the people that sit on our board of directors are that's from different synagogues. Even a gay woman that's from the synagogue
And
got
the
up here.
devil. And the devil worship. And the devil worship.
Wicked, Wiccan. I don't know what she is. I don't know what they call them, priest or whatever. And then you had a Christian, a Buddhist, talk about their customary fasting, but they never called us. And what I believe happened was the sister had good intentions, but her imam told her, hell no. See, the imam told her, let me see the list who you want to have up here. Oh, I can't have the Moors talk about they different. They got a different prophet than Muhammad. I can't have these Moors come up here in this masjid and talk about they have a different prophet than Muhammad. That they Ramadan only in the month of October. Oh no, we're not going to have that. And so and it was kind of interesting because even some of the heads of the brothers that's part of that masjid kind of gave us the fade away. They avoided our little cluster, and so we didn't stay long. And I was
thought that was the
insulted.
one we ate at.
Yeah, we did. We ate.
Yes.
We did. Because it was what and the thing is, Chief indulged in several of these events with me in the community because we are connected to not just
There was
one.
Ramadan.
Yeah, we was because it was part of the interfaith um emissions thing where the different interfaith groups visit other communities to learn about their communities. Now we was invited as a community, but because I sit on the board of directors,
That's why we was invited.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me say this. So we go in the back room with Ramadan and eating, breaking the fast. And so I'm sitting at the table with some imams, and so the woman come up. She's Quranic teaching. So she said, "Brother Rahil, do y'all teach Arabic?" I said, "I'm not Arab, sister." She looked at me. I said, "I'm not Arab." And so the imams around the table looked. He's not Arab. I said, "I'm not Arab." And so one of them said, "Well, the Quran." I said, "Sir, the Quran specifically say in Surah 41, verse 44, why would Muhammad give an Arab something other than Arabic?" He looked at me. I said, "Is that what the Quran say?" So what they're saying is, we ain't gonna accept nothing you giving us Muhammad is not in Arabic. So they forced that on the prophet. Because they say, we're Arabs, we're not gonna accept nothing but Arabic. So now who they checking? They checking Muhammad. They telling Muhammad, I don't care what Allah gave you. If it's not in Arabic, I'm not accepting it. But that's not the only time. You go to Surah 10, 47 to 49, and you get to 48. His companion asked him, he said, tell us when everybody get a prophet if what you say is true. I mean, that's Surah 10, 47 through 49. 48, they say, when would this promise come true? If you're truthful. Wait a minute, they're asking the prophet to be truthful. What you mean? Wait a minute, I got a Quran right here. Let me see. That's cold blood. They're asking the prophet to tell the truth. Dang, I almost opened it right to it, too. Am I on the right one? That's part 2. Oh, that's not that. Thought I was on 2. Okay. Surah 9. Surah 9. Surah 10. Let's see what it says here. 10:47. For every nation there is a messenger, and when a messenger comes, justice is done amongst them. They are not wrong. 48. They say, when would this promise be fulfilled if what you say is true? Wait a minute. Who they asking this? Who they talking to? They tell Muhammad, if what you say is true, tell us when it's going to happen, Muhammad. If what you say is true. So you saying other people going to have a nation, going to have prophets? Now, what they put into it in parentheses, they put in punishment. They say, when would this promise of punishment? Wait a minute, what do you say punishment at? When he said every nation should have a prophet. How did they get punishment in that statement? So Muhammad said, for every nation there is a messenger, and when his messenger comes, justice is done amongst them, and they are not wrong. Wait a minute. Why didn't the next one say punishment? Why do people got to be punished? Oh, but wait, we got an answer for that too. Oh, Brother Rael. Surah 17, verse 15. Let's go to Surah 17, verse 15. Huh? See, because we know our Islam.
They're not ready for it.
Surah 17, verse 15. Let me see what it says. And it says this here.
They ain't ready for it.
Whosoever goes right is only for the good of his own soul that he goes right. Whoever goes straight to his own loss. No soul can bear the burden of another. Nor do we, now check this one, nor do we punish until we have sent forth a messenger. Wait a minute. Nor do we punish the people till we send them a messenger. So how Muhammad the last prophet?
They contradict themselves when they ask about the punishment, right?
Right.
So they know about that.
Right. So a prophet come to warn you about the punishment that's coming ahead, that's coming after him. So now they saying, when would they punishment? Wait a minute. Well, Muhammad said in Surah 10:49, I have no power. Right. When their time comes, they can't put it off, nor can they rush it.
But didn't you, when you was explaining that to some imams, they was like, you misinterpret that.
Wow. The person that wrote it misinterpreted. Not only did he misinterpreted, 14 other interpreters of the Quran misinterpreted. So I'm not the only one. So it's 15 people that can't speak Arabic, right? Mm. They got 15 people that can't. But this is the thing. I understand. None of them was there.
Right.
It's a lot that gives out to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what Allah is saying. It's not in the Arabic, because the Arabs, some of the dumbest people, they just got oil. Right now they pooping doing the stuff on our sisters over there in Dubai. In Arabia, they got our women coming over there raping them and stuff. Where's your Islam at? I've been around Muslims. Listen, 1996, I went to an international convention, Islamic convention. We got off, we pulled up in our car. All we heard was, everybody got the car. Assalamu alaikum, bro. We got our feds on, they turned their back. They didn't say Assalamu alaikum one time. Not one time. Mm. We went through the whole thing. The only people that said Assalamu alaikum to us was the Sufis, a couple of the Sunni Muslims from outside the country, because they had on tarbooshes. Mm. So someone had on tarbooshes. One of the guys that was selling books, he was an imam. After he seen our feds on, the next day he came down with his feds on without a tassel.
Was that the European?
Yep. No, not the European. The European, he's what you call a Bosnian. He follows the Bosnian Sufi order over there. But now these here, because I met this guy again in Oakland years later. He was at the mosque, and I was like, wow. But he wanted to show us something. He went and got his top. I can't call it a fez because it had no tassel to it. Mm-hmm. But he came down there with it on. Mm-hmm. The problem is this, brothers and sisters. You still have too much love for the people that have no love for you.
Mm.
Religion does not change the fact they have no love for you. The religion makes it tolerable. They tolerate you in the mosque. They tolerate you. I remember when Walla D went over there to Mecca with his son, and Walla D got in the car first. His son rode over. They beat his son crazy from what they told me. I was listening to mosque they had off of Madison Street, right off of Laramie, and they was talking, about how they beat his son because they knew he wasn't Arab. Well, now it tells you all through the Quran that on the day of judgment, the evil ones should have black faces. Dark. You can't have a dark face without dark hands.
Right.
So all through the Quran, it rejects your darkness. It rejects your beauty. Oh, Islam? No, it's not the most unprejudiced. Because I can tell you now, they've got slaves over there now. And the slavery based on skin tone.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the things is that a lot of those who were in the Sunni Muslims and even Moors who practice the Sunni way, and and particularly I have it's a very bitter taste when it comes to Moors, so infused in holding up someone else's customs and traditions and want to justify it when the prophet said we're supposed to derive our power and authority for the great Quran of Mecca. And so they use that as a base in their argument, and to give reason why they Ramadan with the Sunni.
But now, that ain't what the prophet said. Oh. That ain't what the prophet said. See, they got to understand. You're taking the choice pieces of the bone out the meat. You ain't taking the meat. The prophet said this. We derive our power and authority from the great Quran of Mecca to propagate the faith of who? Ali. You don't say propagate the faith of Muhammad. Now, but later on it says that we established the faith of Muhammad in America. Well, through the teachings of Prophet Drew Ali. Through the teachings of Prophet Drew Ali. When you say your prayer, you say by night by day through his what? Holy Prophet Drew Ali. You don't say to your holy prophet Muhammad. This is because they have no teachership. These brothers out here talking about divine ministers can't bust a religious grape. If you go to the tallest building in the world and you threw them brothers off, holding trucks and cars, they would hit a barrel of grape and not bust none. They would hurt themselves.
What I've noticed over the years and watching the various I don't know, debates, I don't know if you call it debates, but lectures or forums where you had those who supposed to be representing the more scientific Americans, Moorish Americans, and then you have Sunni, and maybe even some Sufi. And what I see is that Moors tend to compromise. What they already started out was they compromise their faith. They leave the prophet in the trunk of their car because they're not going to bring our prophet into the conversation because they don't want to offend the other Muslim community. We've seen that. They don't want to offend other Muslims by saying Islam, because that's how we're supposed to greet. Not Assalamu alaikum. That's not the greeting of Moorish Americans, but we always see Moorish Americans capitulate to the foreign idea of Sunni Islam.
It's not just that. If they're around the community, hold down.
Yeah, or I say they put their religion, their customs, and everything in the back pocket, in their purse, in their book bag, in their backpack, in the trunk of the car, just to capitulate to someone else's
and
customs, traditions, and faith.
And when the brothers get around the imams and they call themselves gonna be the imam, like I seen the brother Mr. A. Hopkins Bay, when he was around them imams that I know, he said he was imam. He didn't say divine minister of the Moorish Scientific American. His plaque they gave him say imam.
And see, and the thing is, when we've done interfaith demonstrations, Taste of Faith inside of Mosque Jed, or you think that we said, oh, we can't have the prophet picture on
Oh, yes,
our
we do.
table. We got to put the prophet picture because this is a masjid and we don't want to offend them. Oh, no, we had our beautiful picture of our prophet in that big giant gold frame
Yeah,
sitting in the middle of the table.
that's right.
And and they always make sure our table is generally in the front.
So they can come out the back. That's what that is. So
so,
they people come through the back.
so and we always it's always funny, and it's kind of whimsical because we always like who's gonna sit in the hot seat. Now the hot seat at the interfaith at the Taste of Faith interfaith event is the chair that's sitting at the table because people are going to come up and ask about your faith. What is this? Who's that? What type of Islam is this? And you have to be
What's
ready.
this about nationality?
Yeah.
What is, I said, don't you? I said, you from a foreign country. What's your nationality?
And so you got to be ready to give an answer. And the thing is that we're not to debate is a way to where
We're
we can
teaching.
is a teachable moment because these are people that don't know. And there's people from all it's different religion, nationalities.
No. I'm talking about them funky, big nose, red skin, kiss your butt Muslims, and the brothers down there got their heads all up. I think these Muslims from foreign countries, they look odd because it look like they got 4 arms and 4 legs and 1 head. Because the brother stick his head up in the man's booty so far, he lift him off the ground. So I'm just like, when this Muslim asked me, he didn't ask me, he asked Sahuddin that day.
Oh yeah, that was cold.
He said,
oh,
him and his group say, what are you? He said, I'm Moorish American.
What is this Moorish?
What's this Moorish? I said, what in the hell? Where you come from? They looked at me because I don't wish. I said, where you come from? I bet you got a passport to say what your nationality is.
Yeah. Because they said it with such what is this Moorish?
Right. And see, this is the cold part. They quick to say, I'm from Iran, I'm from Iraq. Just like a European to tell you I'm Irish, I'm German.
Now,
they tell you, but when you say you Moorish, oh, no.
Now he did it while we was on the way out the door.
Right.
We was there. It was an event. We was there.
Right.
He could have came up at any time and engaged in a conversation like
people.
the people from the Jewish community. We good. I mean, great relationship with the people from the Jewish community.
Everybody but Negro, Muslims, and Arabs.
Because it was one of the head of the he's a imam at the Atlanta Masjid, Imam Fatim Phelan. And when you asked him about creating an Islamic council,
I said, well, no, we need to create a Islamic council. We already got there with the Sunni community. Y'all not the only Muslims. Just like we had the other event that we sit at the table, and these people, every time they talk about Islam, they ask the Iranian and the other knucklehead about Islam. I'm sitting like this in front of them. I'm like, yes, Islam. What y'all say about Islam down there? So the Jewish woman looking at me, I'm looking at them. I said, sir, why you keep telling them? Because I don't practice as Islam they do. That Islam they practice enslave me. What are you talking about, sir?
That was an interesting evening because it was an interfaith event that they do in a way of educating people of other faith and so forth. So they asked those who came in groups to mix up and sit at different tables. So this way, each table has a representative of a different faith group, and we can exchange ideas and conversations and thoughts about. Now, on my table, it was a European who was from the Jewish community, and he was from the synagogue. But what I liked about it, and I said that to him, he said, I'm gonna, I'll share some information, but I can't speak for all Judaism. It's not we're not ubiquitous in that measure. You have different sects. He said, so I'm only going to speak for my, the community that I'm a part of or where I believe. And and when he said that, I said, I want to thank you for that, because so often it was another Muslim person there. And so often when we go places and someone wants to speak on Islam, they speak about the faith as it's, something that we're all on the same page with the understanding or the custom.
You got any questions up there?
No. And if you got any questions
Feel
or
free.
or got a story about how you felt shaded by someone claiming to be Islam and you are more, and because you got a prophet, because you're Moorish American and got a prophet, share
They
with us.
scared to tell people they got a prophet. Listen, they whisper. You wouldn't be mad at me if I said I got a prophet, right? You wouldn't be mad. That's why these Moors, let me show you. They either follow behind the Nation of Islam or they follow behind Arabs, everybody but the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't honor your prophet, what makes anybody else going to honor your prophet? You don't respect your prophet. What makes you think anybody else going to? It's your fault.
Absolutely.
It's your fault. I remember, who was this here? I can't remember the Mo's name. But anyway, the Mo told me, he said, brother, young baby, he said, brother, Rayu, how come you didn't come to New York? The brother talked bad about the prophet and stuff. I said, well, how can I defend the prophet against him when you're the problem? You got a fake prophet. Now, what am I going to tell these people? No, Noble Jihad is a prophet. But then I said, what about prophet 1, 2, and 3? They got prophets 1, 2, and 3 over there. I'm like, I got to shut you all down. I got to do the Three Stooges, smack Larry, Curry, and Mo. If the truth be told. Yeah, I just can't smack him. I got to smack all y'all. Larry, Curly, and Mo. Because y'all are a threat to the movement. You know, I'm going to show how deep it is. You like what I teach, but you don't like how I teach it. But you are comfortable with somebody ain't teaching you nothing at all.
Wow.
The reason that you're comfortable is because those people ain't teaching you nothing at all, allow you to say and do anything. You have no restriction, no discipline. That ain't Islam. Islam come with discipline.
Because it's a lazy practice. Because you're lazy in it. You know, someone that is comfortable in a community where there is not a strict standard on studentship, on following customs and keeping to the caveats. That's a lazy community because basically it's the, you know, it is what it is. You know, we can do what we want to do. We don't have to, you know, if I feel this way, and that's not Islam. That's why the prophet gave us rules and regulations.
Well, they don't believe in that. See, they don't believe the prophet gave us laws. See, that's the problem. Pardon me. One of the sickness is more. You got a question?
It's on other site.
Okay, I was looking for it. Go ahead. I was looking.
What's your solution for all Moors coming together? It's too much talk about division. Why don't you talk about us coming together?
I do. Why don't you come join me now? Now what? Come join me.
You know,
that's a simple answer. You want to know about unity? Come join me because where you at is wrong. Y'all just don't like how I talk.
That's what it is.
The governor just said y'all don't want Islam. I understand.
Absolutely. And you know, it's almost kind of interesting, especially when people from the outside, we get it more so from people that's Christians or from other groups. Y'all seem so divided, and Christianity is not. I mean, how many? Yeah, you got
brothers don't say that.
You got, and Christianity is not. You can go down one block and it be a whole about 50 different denominations.
Even a church selling alcohol.
What are you talking about?
This is the thing that gets. I'm sure this will really get you. Now, the prophets say, compare the spirit of man to what you know to be divine and just yourself to what is divine. Right. When the last time your leader sat up there on equal footing with any supreme grand sheik and another grand body? Now, y'all rush over there and sit in the audience of Minister Farrakhan. Y'all seat fillers. Y'all sit up there, Minister Farrakhan, but y'all not on the stage. What have you, just ask yourself that. What have your leadership actually done that you can stand up behind and say, this is Islam?
And the thing is, I give high Islams and honors to my teacher, my leadership. because I felt it was a time when I was invited to sit on a panel of it was scholars. It was one top imam,
Yeah.
and then the woman that was from Turkey. She was a doctorate. She had a
Yeah.
doctorate in theology, and they asked, for me to, and I'm sitting in the middle, and it was at a Buddhist temple,
Yes.
and I was ready. I mean, it was thing. I had so many. It's like I was weighted down with. I had a case of bullets. I had
Bomb.
some bombs. I had
Nuclear.
tear gas. I had a fire flame thrower. I had so many weapons that that I
A
can
mass
use
destruction.
to go against anyone trying to attack my faith, because they do that. Some when you at these people want to throw them side things, but it was so I was comfortable in knowing I was able to fully articulate the way of our customs and our practice, the way of our belief in representing prophet as he asks us to represent him intelligently. So it wasn't a lot of ums and a lot of loose uh, uh, flattery of just loose talk that didn't land anything. It was a point in which we always take the opportunity to inform, educate, and uplift. And
I'm
so we
saying
was able to
Dr.
do
Dawson.
that.
What was the name? Gachi, the Hindu guy, the guy that said he's trying to get us.
Goji,
Goji was trying to get us on the Islamic Council to talk,
the
right?
Speakers
The
Bureau.
Speaker Bureau. Do you know the Muslims went against that? We can't have them speaking.
Yep.
Now here go a foreign guy. He sat down. I never forget. We was at the table at a Christian place, and he asked me about the turban
Mhm.
because they wear turban,
Yeah.
and I explained the turban to him. He said, "That's it." He said, "That's how we see it too." Then he said, "I'm gonna get you on the Speakers Bureau," and they forced him off.
Yeah, he wound up getting off, and maybe because of the pushback, because it's one thing that I noticed in a lot of these interfaith organizations in dealing with our particular faith. Um, they always want to pick the Sunni Islam as being to have the voice of
totality.
Islam. If there's a particular political issue, if there's a social justice issue, they're gonna go to that one imam to speak for the whole of the
Wait a minute.
Islamic
Remember the
community.
Jewish girl, the Jewish woman had the TV show?
Oh yeah,
She invited everybody on the show, even the new person that been there years after she was there, the devil worshiper.
yeah. And so when you're being slighted, but a lot of times we say, and Chief said, listen, we're still getting exposure that we need. It's going to be a time where we're going to be shutting them all up. So sometimes, some people say, well, why do y'all grin and bear it? Why do y'all still connect with these interfaith groups if they're not pushing you up? And it's not all of them. I'm not saying that everyone that we've dealt with in the interfaith, because we had, there's one particular interfaith community that hosts the Taste of Faith. And every year, this is before COVID, because they actually looking to start it back up. I think for the winter month. So we'll see if how that pans out. But anyway, before COVID, they used to invite us. They would send me emails and make sure I asked, did you get my email? Are y'all coming? The Baja community
Yes.
always want us to come and represent who we are at their communities. And so it's not all the interfaith community, it's just this certain selective
The
few,
Muslim,
and it's the cliques, it's the Sunni community
along with
that
the
had
Jewish.
and not all Jews, because remember
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about
yeah.
him. That's a good brother.
So the Sunni
Faith.
communities generally they got an issue with us,
Right.
and from their perspective,
Because we don't know our place.
and based on their beliefs, they supposed to have an issue with us, because by their account, the fact that we have a prophet, we're kephers. We're kephers. It's we the worst of the worst, because we got a prophet. But every year Moorish Americans find themselves in the masjid, and there was a sister that was part of our community. She was part of the temple in Philadelphia, Temple 11, and she spoke about how they would go to the masjid during Ramadan, and she said that as soon as they turn their backs, they're laughing and making fun of the Moorish Americans. They are just,
Yes.
they are just. And she says, it's like, why would you go in a place that's going to treat you like crap? But you in their face laughing and shucking and jiving and scratching when it don't eat. It's like you are so enthralled to want to.
You so glad
force your, and you want to. It's like Pepe Le Pew always trying to force himself on these cats.
Yes.
And they, yeah, and and they like, just stay away. But it's sad. It's sad, but this is.
You know
this
what?
Is what
Reminds me of the first nigga on the block. I'm in the first person in the European neighborhood. Then they burn the house and stuff down. Oh, why they do that to me? They don't want you in the neighborhood.
This is 1920.
What?
If they want to do the Ramadan, won't they do it in their own temple? Why they got to go
Yeah.
there to the mosque?
Yeah, the Mo just said something. If you're going to Ramadan, why don't you Ramadan in your own temple?
If you want to do it,
If you're going to do it during the
period,
month, the same month, or during the same time that the Sunnis do it, why go around the Sunni community in Ramadan when you can't go in there with a button with the Prophet on it, or something with Prophet Noble Ali on going in their mosque?
They can't bring a Quran in there.
But we Ramadan in October. And it's kind of interesting. When we go to a lot of these interfaith events when we was going, the people will correct them. No, they Ramadan in October. It would be other people there that know who we are.
Oh, wait a minute. When we was up there in Washington, D.C. at the international meeting they had, the people talking about, yes, they're the more scientific American between them and the Nation of Islam. And the people that done their research said, no, they before the Nation of Islam. And then the people were there, we said Scientology, they said, yes, y'all should do what come over like that, then we can help y'all, like we helping the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say Scientology. I'm looking at him, I say, Elijah Muhammad, he ain't turning over in the grave, he done got out of it.
Then the Russian guy said,
Yeah.
those are old Islam.
Yeah, the Russian guy said, we old Islam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
See, everybody know you but you.
Yes.
Y'all so busy trying to imitate other people. I'm not. I'm sorry, y'all. Not.
Yeah. Because it was interesting when the president of that chapter in Washington, D.C. and Scientology people, they got money.
Ooh, yes, they do.
But we was there. We was invited, but we got lost. And that was the first time they had interfaith thing,
Right.
Because they had the second. This is when Trump was in office. They had the Secretary of State there. They had other delegates from the White House there. Tom Cruise was there earlier, and we missed all. And they actually, he said, "Chick, we would have liked for you to have came," and we was late getting there.
Yeah, but Jay, when we got there, the men's in black.
Yeah,
the thing they were rushing us. What y'all doing here?
The Secret Service was still out there, but they waited, and he, when we told him he was on our way, they had a buffet, and it was beautifully led. I mean, it was gorgeous. But it was that finger foodish stuff, and I was like, it was a long drive because we initially was there, and this was actually
we left Virginia.
It was like it was a bittersweet measure because we was paying our respects to our family. Corey mother had passed on, and so they asked us to attend the funeral. We was there to give our support, our love, and then right after we took the drive to Washington D.C. to meet up with Alex. He's the head of the European something
Council on Beliefs and Faith.
Religious Council on Beliefs and Faith, and actually he's now the president. He was he's
from Italy.
Yeah, he's from Italy, and he
actually, so they know about Moors because of him.
Yeah, and he's and Chief had to explain them just because they claim to be Moorish Americans or they look like us, please don't mistake, and so I like the fact that he did his research. He's a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he did his research. He bought several books from us and DVDs. This is years ago. He bought the Controversial Years, so that basically locked him down. Once he got that Controversial Years, it was a wrap because he
And
had the history.
And he reviewed the cases.
So he wasn't as a buffoon as Jacob Dorman with the book The Princess and the Prophet.
You talking about Ali Means?
Yeah, that foolishness that came about.
How did Ali mean? How did Sharif and them okay a book that slanders and defames our prophet, and yet ain't nobody in their group saying nothing? But then he also said that the prophet wasn't perfect, so I can understand. I just thought he said the prophet wasn't perfect. Then they made him a grand sheik. No wonder he looked bad. He told me he could prove the prophet wasn't perfect. I said, Sharif, what? Yes, cause he called commentary. I'm like, don't you hear the prophet say, one way a man may be born, 1,000 ways he may die? Yeah, Jesus died on the cross, they say.
Not in the flesh to think, a bone to reason.
But anytime that's what you gotta look at. Anytime your leadership is allowing a subgroup in his group, they got their own additive chamber. Ali Means got their own additive chamber. They got their own additive teachings. So what? Why are you over there with Jones Bay and them? What it is, what it is. Y'all happy.
And we continue to, do these forums. So just for some of y'all that just popped on, If the Truth Be Told is the communication platform. We rebranding, not changing the name, because If the Truth Be Told is definitely speaks to having a communication platform in terms of addressing issues that need to be, but it's a communication platform for Only the Truth Matters.
Only if you want the truth.
Now you can go to the website onlythetruthmatters.org.
If you don't want the truth, this ain't for you.
That is a full-fledged interfaith nonprofit corporation that the chief minister and the heads of the trustee board of the Mormon Science of America created to address social injustice issues, to also address religious injustice issues from an interfaith measure. And so we will have discussions in dealing with just recently, and we're going to probably do it on our next show, talk about how brothers in the state prisons, in several state prisons, are being denied their religious material because the Christian chaplains don't want them to have it. That's simple.
And y'all helping them.
And so a lot of times the mothers and wives and family members of those who are incarcerated, we call it the Dismal Crips, they reach out to us. And because we're not a legal service, but we do have some weight, and we do have information to empower those who are seeking justice for their loved ones and giving them bullet point applications to apply, to do, and to apply themselves in doing, so that they loved ones can receive their religious materials, because it's against the law for them to deny women and men that's incarcerated their religious materials. Because it was, what was even sad to agree to why we were so infused to do this, because at one point many years ago, we was inmates, brothers in a Dismal Crip, particularly in the state of Michigan and North Carolina, was being denied their faith, to practice their faith of Islam, because Jones Bay of the Moore Scientific American Incorporated, aka MSTA 1913, put a notice out to state that we teach sovereignty.
Yeah.
And not only did we teach sovereignty, that we were bringing into the prisons and so forth and that. And now here's the rub. Jones Bay don't supply Qurans or support to to prisons across the country like we do ours. Those who have chosen the faith of Islam via our community. We even support prison, state and federal prisons that have inmate-led services, and this is, that have inmate-led services that are not necessarily up under our guidance. But because Chief says, I don't, these brothers are in the worst positions, and they're in the place where they can find a better means of their relationship with God. I'm not going to deny them, sell them the Qurans. So we would sell bulks of Qurans, 50, 100, 200 Qurans to state and federal prisons. But Jones Bay had tried to stop us from going there. And that's one of the reasons why our present officer, Sheikh Ali Sadi bin Bey, formerly known as Christopher Bennett Bey, he was the Grand Governor of Temple 12 in North Carolina, the state of North Carolina. He was the Grand Governor of the state of North Carolina, and he was over Temple 12 in Charlotte, right? In Charlotte. Yes. And once Allah locked him in the conversation with the chief, and then it spewed into Ali was still part of the, under R. Jones Bay, representing the Moore Scientific American Incorporated, aka 1913. He came with us. Chief asked him, come with us to sit with the heads of the prison board in North Carolina.
Yes.
And after Sheikh Ali was able to see the chief, when he said he whooped 2 imams, it wasn't that he yelled at him or he
not that I jumped up and did a Will Smith on him. No. I did not do a Will Smith. It was that
these imams was actually telling us that they don't want the inmates who have chosen the faith of Islam via the Moore Scientific America -1928 to wear kufis, to have prayer rugs, to have prayer beads, because they did not want the Moorish Scientific of America, Moorish Americans, to get confused looking like Sunni Muslims. That was the whole argument about. So they were telling us, no, y'all can do what y'all do, but y'all can't do it looking like you're a Muslim, because I don't want the inmate population confused between those who are Moorish Americans and those who are the Sunni community. This was the argument. In Jones Bay, the 34 group, they was going and siding with the chaplains to say, no, the Moors ain't got to wear kufis. They don't Ramadan. They just basically niggas. That's all that what he was saying. So y'all tell us, oh, why y'all airing this dirty stuff? The prophet said, let the people know.
No. First of all, it's not airing. Why are you trying to hide it?
Yeah.
That's the question. Why are you trying to hide the truth?
And so Sheikh Ali saw the chief actually go through the Quran of Mecca. Chief has a mind that can flip out those surahs like Tic Tacs, like a Pez dispenser, and he's flipping those surahs out.
And them imams agreed with me.
And they couldn't. They was just in awe because they didn't think that. Wait a minute, wait a minute, and they kept looking at Sheikh Ali and said, "What group were you in again?" Because he was not going against anything the chief said. And the Sheikh said he already been in the temple, what, 20 years?
Yes.
Already been in the temple.
He said
20
he ain't
years. In all his 20 years, he's been to convention, every convention at Horn Street every year. He's been to what he's been around all these malls for 20 Jones Bay, all in 20 years. He said he has never seen any Moorish American sit with two, not just weak imams, they the top imams.
Plus the fact that this is the catch.
And defend the prophet and the faith of Islam like he did. That's what made him want to join us, because he said, I want to be just like that.
He said,
I want to be able to talk and speak and demonstrate.
Now you Moors are tough when you're talking to each other. Oh, you Moors some tough corporate scientists. Oh, y'all some mad scientists. But then the prophet say, wade in the water. Yeah. Who are those Muslims over there? They all must agree. They must be the one that do what you're. Yeah. But When you come outside of that, you can't say a damn thing because you're scared. You're peeing on yourself. You say, I hope they don't talk to me. I hope they don't ask me no questions. I hope. But anyway, it's about time to close out.
Islam.
5
So,
minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah.
With that, go to our website, onlythetruthmatters.org. Check us out. It's fairly new. We're building up.
We're asking y'all to put up some intelligent questions. We want y'all to put up some intelligent questions like, what's the difference between Islam and what the prophet brought? Is Muhammad the last prophet? Y'all got to ask some intelligent questions so y'all can come on. Most of y'all want to do it anonymously. Y'all don't want nobody to know y'all talking. Well, prophet didn't hide behind the screen. He didn't throw a rock and didn't hide his hand.
Islam.
So anyway.
So join us tomorrow for Friday Holy Day service at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're looking for a temple, you can always reach out to us at msta1928.org. We ask that you go to other temples, go look at their websites, go talk to them, ask them questions, get a copy of the leadership's bio, what they've done. You know,
there ain't no bio. Listen, there ain't no leadership bio.
Oh,
they don't have that.
Well, ask.
I ain't seen no grand shit yet. Now I seen Unpleasant Bay lie. You know, he allowed a bow pantyhose legs in a second. I done seen some of them, but you know, you should ask yourself, why did Pleasant Bay put in his book if he dropped dead is my fault? And I live here and he lives someplace else. I got a lot of power.
Yeah.
That if he dropped, he didn't say get killed. He said if I drop dead. Woo! Y'all been following him. Y'all don't hear that? It's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in his book.
It's in the book. It's in the book.
A Zooming of a Nation is in his book.
Mm-hmm.
If a man that powerful, I'm not following the weak man.
Islam.
I'm not following the punk to say he'll mo. When I was gang banging, my leader had top billing. My leader was a killer. Y'all following people that and Mr. Ned top ring. In the center ring circuit where the car drive up and all the clowns get up with the red nose and big feet. That's Mr. Ed center ring. And both of them getting out the car. But anyway, I trust y'all happy. Because I'm happy to be with Allah and the Prophet. I'm blessed.
Islam. Praise Allah. So we're going to say Almighty.
Almighty. May Allah go before you, not after you.
That's it. Peace and love. Praise Allah Almighty.
Peace and Almighty.